Welcome back to the final chapter of our enthralling tale, where every stitch in time reveals a new secret. If you're catching up, the link to the second part of our story is waiting for you in the top right corner or down below. Last time, we followed Luna and Hattie as they pieced together the hidden diary of Marianne, uncovering sacrifices and secrets that spanned generations. As you settle in with your knitting or a soothing cup of tea, join us for the conclusion of this captivating journey. We're about to tie the final knots in a story that has taken us through love, laughter, and the labyrinth of a family's legacy. Are you ready to see where the final threads of this mystery lead? Chapter 11. Scripting the Truth. The dawn crept in gently, bathing Marianne's old house in a soft golden hue. Luna and Hattie, surrounded by the remnants of their nocturnal research marathon, were like detectives at the end of a long stakeout, tired but triumphant. "Look at this," Luna said, her eyes bleary but bright with excitement. She held up a letter Marianne had written to Thomas, dated just a few days before her sudden departure. She talks about a final performance, something she had to do before leaving. Hattie, sipping her third cup of coffee, raised an eyebrow. Final performance? Was our Marianne a secret thespian as well as a baker and a lover? The letter was cryptic, mentioning a rendezvous and a decision that would change everything. It hinted at a plan Marianne had concocted, something daring and dramatic. "We need to find out what this final performance was," Luna declared, her detective instincts fully ignited. Their quest took them to the Local Theatre, a grand old building that had seen better days but still held a certain charm. The manager, a flamboyant character who seemed to embody the spirit of the theatre, greeted them with open arms. "Marianne Marshall? Of course I remember her. She was a star, albeit a shooting one, brief but memorable," he exclaimed, leading them to a wall adorned with photographs of past productions. There, amidst the black and white images of actors and actresses, was Marianne. She was costumed for a play, her expression enigmatic yet captivating. She starred in one play, just one, but oh, what a performance it was, the manager reminisced. The play was called The Baker's Secret, a fitting title, wouldn't you say? Luna's heart raced. "Do you have a copy of the script?" "Indeed, I do." The manager disappeared into a cluttered office and emerged with a dusty script. "Here it is, The Baker's Secret, by Marianne Marshall herself." The script was a revelation. It told the story of a baker who lived a double life, a tale of love and secret identities. But it was the ending that caught Luna's attention. The baker reveals her true self in a dramatic finale, choosing love over safety. This is more than a play. It's her story, Luna whispered, the realization dawning on her. Hattie, flipping through the script, nodded. Marianne was clever. She hid her truth in plain sight, on the stage, under the spotlight. They spent the day at the theater, piecing together the final days of Marianne's life in town. It became clear that the play was her way of saying goodbye, of leaving a piece of herself behind. The following days were a whirlwind of discovery. Luna and Hattie visited the town's archives, unearthing old records and interviews about the play. They learned that the production had been a sensation, a topic of discussion for weeks, but it was an old review in the town newspaper that provided the next clue. The critic had written about a mysterious patron who attended every performance, a man who always sat in the back row, his face obscured by a hat. "Henri," Luna said, a sense of urgency in her voice. "He was here, watching her." Their investigation took a turn towards Henri. They scoured through Marianne's letters again, finding veiled references to their plans, to a future they hoped to build. Marianne's story is like a pastry, layered, complex, and with a surprise filling, Hattie mused as they sat in the study, surrounded by the pieces of Marianne's life. Luna looked at the locket, now always around her neck. Her story is also about choices. She chose love, but it meant leaving everything else behind. As the puzzle of Marianne's life fell into place, Luna felt a connection to her grandmother she had never known. Marianne was no longer just a name in the family tree. She was a woman of depth, passion, and courage. Chapter 12. The Scandal's Stage. The idea of restaging the baker's secret was like deciding to bake a souffle for the first time. Ambitious, slightly nerve-wracking, but potentially spectacular. Luna and Hattie, armed with enthusiasm and a touch of caffeine-induced bravado, set about making it happen. The theater hasn't seen this much excitement since someone accidentally released a chicken during Hamlet, Hattie remarked as they walked through the stage door, now flung open for rehearsals. Luna, script in hand, felt a connection to Marianne that transcended time. This play was her voice, her way of telling the world who she truly was. We're going to bring it back to life. The local theater troupe, a mix of seasoned actors and enthusiastic amateurs, was buzzing with excitement. The story of Marianne Marshall had spread, and everyone wanted to be a part of the revival. Casting was a whirlwind of auditions that felt more like a comedy sketch than a professional process, with Hattie providing unsolicited yet humorous commentary. Next, we'll be auditioning for the role of the mysterious lover. Please, no more interpretive dance renditions. This is a drama, not a circus, she declared, earning a mix of laughs and groans. As rehearsals began, Luna found herself stepping into the director's role, a position that felt surprisingly natural. She guided the actors through their lines, each word a piece of Marianne's legacy. Hattie, meanwhile, appointed herself as the unofficial morale officer, providing a steady stream of jokes, encouragement, and the occasional pastry. Remember, folks, in the world of theater, a baker's dozen is 13 dramatic pauses, she quipped during a break, handing out croissants. The play's narrative, so closely mirroring Marianne's life, struck a chord with everyone involved. The story of a woman torn between two worlds, her love a secret hidden beneath layers of societal expectations, was more than just fiction. It was a reflection of a life lived in the shadows of truth. As opening night approached, the excitement was palpable. The old theater was abuzz with energy, the air thick with anticipation, and the smell of freshly painted sets. Luna, backstage, felt a mixture of nerves and pride. This is it, the moment Marianne's story is told again. I wish she could see this. Hattie, ever the supportive sidekick, draped an arm around her. She's here, Luna, in every line, in every note of music, in every bag of flour backstage. This is her night. The curtain rose to a packed house, the audience a blend of townsfolk, history enthusiasts, and a few curious tourists. The lights dimmed and the play began, unfolding Marianne's story in a tapestry of dialogue and emotion. As the final scene closed, with the actress playing Marianne revealing her true self in a poignant monologue, there wasn't a dry eye in the house. The applause that followed was thunderous, a standing ovation that echoed through the theater like a triumphant roar. Backstage, Luna and Hattie hugged, tears of joy and accomplishment in their eyes. We did it, Luna whispered. We brought her story to life. Chapter 13. A Star's Secret. The success of The Baker's Secret was like a perfectly risen souffle beyond expectations. The town was abuzz with talk of the play, Marianne Marshall, and the remarkable story behind it all. Luna and Hattie, still riding the high of opening night, found themselves celebrities of sorts. As they walked through the town, they were greeted with nods, smiles, and the occasional request for an autograph on a playbill. It's like we're the Sherlock and Watson of the baking world, Hattie mused as they sat in their favorite cafe, now unofficially the post-show hangout. Luna, sipping her coffee, smiled. We've brought my grandmother's story to light. She's no longer just a name in a family tree or a face in an old photograph. Their conversations were interrupted by the cafe owner, a jolly man who had taken to calling them his two favorite detectives. He held out a newspaper, the headline reading, "Local play unearths town's hidden history." "Look at this. You two are stars, and they say the play is bringing tourists. We haven't had this much excitement since the Great Pie Bake-Off of '78. He beamed, placing complimentary pastries on their table. The article detailed the play's success and hinted at a deeper impact. Marianne's story had inspired others to explore their own family histories, to uncover the tales hidden within their lineage. "It's like we've started a genealogical gold rush," Hattie quipped, biting into a croissant. "Next thing you know, we'll have people digging up their backyards looking for buried family secrets." Luna's thoughts, however, were on the photograph they had found in Marianne's house, the one of the young man, her mother's biological father. "I've been thinking about the man in the photo with Marianne. We should find out more about him. He's a part of our family history too." Their next venture led them to the local registry office, where birth records and old census reports were kept like treasures. The clerk, recognizing them from the newspaper article, was more than eager to assist. "Let's see," he said, flipping through large, dusty ledgers. "You're looking for a man connected to Marianne Marshall around the early 50s, correct?" After hours of digging through records and cross-referencing dates, they came across an entry that made Luna's heart skip a beat. "Here he is, Thomas Wainwright. He worked at the bakery with Marianne and left town shortly after she did." Hattie whistled. "Thomas Wainwright. Sounds like a character from a Jane Austen novel. Our Marianne had quite the intriguing circle." Armed with this new information, they decided to delve deeper into Thomas's life. Their search took them to a neighboring town where Thomas had moved after leaving their own. The town was small, a picturesque postcard of Americana. Inquiries at the local library and a chat with some longtime residents led them to a startling discovery. Thomas had been a well-respected member of the community, a baker known for his skill and quiet demeanor. "But there's more," an elderly librarian whispered, leaning over her desk. Thomas always wore a locket with a picture of a woman inside. He said it was his one true love, a woman he could never forget. Luna felt a shiver run down her spine. "Do you think he could be my grandfather?" The pieces of the puzzle were falling into place, each a revelation shedding light on the shadowed corners of her family's past. As they left the library, Luna looked thoughtful. "We've uncovered so much about Marianne, but Thomas's story is still incomplete. We need to find out what happened to him after he left here." Chapter 14. Unveiling the Veil. Back in Ohio, Luna and Hattie returned to Marianne's house, a place now familiar yet still brimming with secrets. They were on a mission to connect the dots between Marianne and Thomas, but little did they know a significant discovery awaited them. "While we're solving family mysteries, I hope we find a long-lost recipe for a pea or something," Hattie joked as they rummaged through the attic, a place where dust bunnies held dominion. Amidst old trunks and forgotten memorabilia, Luna's hand brushed against a small leather-bound book hidden beneath a stack of faded tablecloths. "What's this?" she murmured, her fingers tracing the worn cover. Opening the diary, Luna's eyes widened. The handwriting was unmistakably Marianne's, each page a window into her soul. "It's her diary," Luna breathed, a treasure trove of thoughts, fears, and dreams. Hattie peered over her shoulder. "Diaries are like reality shows in written form. Let's see what Marianne's confessionals reveal." As they delved into the diary, Marianne's voice seemed to fill the room, her words painting a vivid picture of her life. There were entries about her love for Henry, the agony of their separation, and her life in Ohio. But it was the entries about a child that caught their attention. She writes about a child she had to protect, a secret she kept even from Henri, Luna said, her voice thick with emotion. Hattie's humor faded, replaced by a solemn understanding. This must have been a huge burden for her, carrying this secret alone. The diary detailed Marianne's fears for the child's safety, her decision to leave Henri, and her struggle to create a new life in Ohio. It was a story of sacrifice, a mother's love transcending her own desires. Luna turned the pages gently, each entry a piece of the puzzle that was her grandmother's life. She did all this for her child, for my mother. The revelation shed new light on Marianne's departure from France and her sudden disappearance from Ohio. She had been protecting her child from a past that threatened to catch up with her. "This changes everything," Luna whispered. "Her story is not just about lost love, it's about a mother's courage." As Luna and Hattie continued to explore Marianne's diary, they uncovered entries that hinted at a depth of intrigue they hadn't anticipated. It wasn't just about protecting her daughter. There was mention of another child, a mystery wrapped in the pages of Marianne's life. "Look at this entry," Luna pointed out, her finger tracing the faded lines. "She mentions a child, but the details are vague. It's not clear if she's talking about my mother or someone else." Hattie, ever the enthusiast for an expanded plotline, chimed in. Maybe Marianne was part of a secret babysitting club for clandestine children, the spy who rocked me, or something like that. Luna rolled her eyes but couldn't suppress a smile. "I think it's more complicated than that. There are several entries where she talks about keeping a child safe, about making hard choices. It doesn't all add up to just my mother's story." The more they read, the more they realized that Marianne's life in Ohio might have been a cover for a larger secret, one that involved another child whose identity and significance were shrouded in mystery. Maybe she was protecting this child from someone or something, Luna speculated, her mind racing with possibilities. Hattie nodded, her expression serious for once. "This is like one of those TV dramas where every episode ends with a cliffhanger. Marianne's life had more layers than my aunt's famous dip." The diary entries were cryptic about the child's identity, but they conveyed a sense of urgency and fear. It was as if Marianne was part of a larger story, a narrative that extended beyond her own family. What if this other child was someone important, someone who needed protection? Hattie suggested, her detective instincts kicking in. Maybe that's why Marianne had to leave France so suddenly and why she disappeared from Ohio. The revelation opened up a myriad of questions. Who was this child? Why were they in danger? And how did it all connect to Marianne? As the evening turned into night, Luna and Hattie found themselves deep in discussion, theories flying like dough in a pizza tossing competition. "We need to find out more about this child," Luna decided. "This could be the key to understanding the full scope of my grandmother's life." Hattie, grabbing another cookie, nodded in agreement. "And I thought this was just going to be a simple family tree exercise. Turns out we're climbing a whole forest." Chapter 15. Family Tree or Family Forest. As they sat amidst the sea of papers and relics in Marianne's house, Hattie couldn't help but add her unique brand of humor to their profound discoveries. So we've got a secret child, a baker with a penchant for drama, and a diary that's more cryptic than my grandma's crossword puzzles, Hattie said, flipping through the diary with a theatrical flair. And here I thought my family reunions were complicated? Luna, holding the diary, couldn't suppress a chuckle. I guess every family has its secrets, but I don't think anyone can top this. Hattie grinned, winking at Luna. Oh, never underestimate the power of a hidden casserole recipe in a family feud. But seriously, this mystery child, think they might be hiding in a witness protection program for junior bakers? Their laughter filled the room, lightening the weight of the emotional journey they had embarked upon. As they discussed their next steps, Hattie's humor was a constant, a reminder not to take life too seriously, even when unraveling its most intricate mysteries. We've gone from genealogical detectives to babysitters for historical mysteries, Hattie quipped as she packed up some of the documents. I'm expecting a call from a mystery novel publisher any day now. Luna smiled, her heart lighter thanks to Hattie's antics. I'm just glad we're in this together. It's been an incredible journey. As they left Marianne's house, the diary and other documents safely tucked away, Hattie struck a pose, pretending to be a detective from a noir film. Luna, my dear, the case of the mysterious baker and her secret child is far from closed. Our next chapter awaits. Luna laughed, rolling her eyes affectionately. You and your theatrics, Hattie? But you're right, there's more to this story, and we're going to find out what it is. Walking down the path away from the house, their silhouettes cast long shadows in the setting sun. The air was filled with the promise of new adventures, of secrets yet to be uncovered. Hattie stopped, turning to Luna with a dramatic flair. You know, they say every good detective duo needs a catchy name. How about the Baker's Sleuths or the Pastry Detectives? Luna laughed, shaking her head. How about just Luna and Hattie? I think that has a nice ring to it. Epilogue. Roots and Revelations. A few weeks after the curtain fell on the baker's secret, Luna and Hattie found themselves at their favorite cafe, a spot that had become their unofficial headquarters for mystery solving and pastry eating. So our little play turned out to be the talk of the town. I'm expecting Hollywood to call any day now, Hattie quipped, sipping her latte with mock sophistication. Luna, flipping through a scrapbook she'd made of their adventure, smiled. I think Marianne would have loved to see her story told, but there's still the mystery of the other child. It feels like we've just scratched the surface. Hattie leaned back, her eyes twinkling with excitement. Well, every good detective duo needs an ongoing mystery. Keeps us sharp, like my aunt's knitting needles. Just then, the cafe owner approached, a broad smile on his face. You two are becoming celebrities around here. I'm thinking of renaming a pastry after you. How does Detective Danish's sound? Luna laughed. As long as they're as sweet as our discoveries. The conversation turned to their plans for uncovering the story of the mysterious child. Hattie was full of wild theories, each more elaborate than the last. Maybe the child was a prodigy, a Mozart of muffins, or a tiny spy, sending coded messages through cupcakes, Hattie declared, her imagination running wild. Luna shook her head, amused. Let's stick to the facts, Hattie, but I have to admit, I'm excited to see where this next mystery takes us. As they chatted and planned, the cafe buzzed around them, a hive of activity and warmth. It was a place of beginnings and endings, of stories told and yet to be told. This story ends with Luna and Hattie stepping out of the cafe, the scrapbook of their journey tucked under Luna's arm. They walked down the street side by side, ready for whatever mystery life would throw at them next. Their laughter mingled with the sounds of the town, a melody of friendship and adventure. For Luna and Hattie, the story was far from over. It was just another chapter in a book filled with laughter, love, and the eternal search for truth. Thanks for joining us on this amazing story journey. If you enjoyed it, please give a thumbs up, leave a comment, and don't forget to subscribe for more captivating tales. Stay tuned for our next adventure. Until then, keep exploring the stories that connect us all.